Singapore. Much prose and noise has been generated by the fact that a U.S. president seems suddenly to have stumbled upon a new name for the map of Asia, the Indo Pacific. American administration officials used such terminology repeatedly in the lead-up to this month's Asian summit season, and U.S. President Donald Trump himself used it with uncharacteristic discipline throughout his remarks and engagements while in the region. Often the formulation was "Free and Open Indo-Pacific," a label that has defined Japanese policy towards the region for more than a year now. The use of such language has drawn mixed reviews from analysts. These range from applause for a frame of reference that categorically includes India, to quiet satisfaction among some key U.S. allies and partners that Washington is beginning to define the region the way they do, all the way through to predictable negativity from the Chinese Global Times. As someone who contributed to the early development of an Indo-Pacific concept of a two-ocean regional strategic system, I suspect we are all being a bit hasty in either welcoming or rejecting President Trump's new vocabulary. First, it is worth unpacking what this Indo-Pacific thing is all about. It is not a faddish new synonym for the Asia-Pacific. Sure, it includes maritime Asia and much of the Pacific, but it extends the map westward into South Asia and the Indian Ocean, up to and perhaps including the eastern littoral of Africa and the Middle East. Second, the Indo-Pacific idea is not about excluding or downplaying Asia or any particular Asian country, such as China. In fact, this is a definition of a maritime region with Asia at its heart. The Indo-Pacific map is a reminder that the international sea lanes of the South China Sea are central to the regional economic and strategic system, and therefore most certainly every nation's business. Third, this is not about promoting security concerns above economic connectivity. In fact, the origins of the 21st century Indo-Pacific are very much economic. They lie in the turning outward of China and then India in the late 20th century, to resume their place as great trading economies. One of the turning points towards the new era was China's shift to being a net oil importer in the early 1990s. China now shares with Japan, South Korea and others an acute reliance on the sea lanes of the Indian Ocean for its energy security. The flag has followed commerce, and China and others are now establishing an Indo-Pacific security footprint, hence their counter-piracy missions in the Gulf of Aden, and, in the case of China and Japan, military bases at Djibouti too. The Indo-Pacific reflects the inevitability of the big powers China, India, Japan, the United States projecting power and influence across this wider region. With the geo-economic gambit now known as the Belt Road Initiative, China has staked its future very much on a maritime Silk Road, the Indo-Pacific with Chinese characteristics. With its navy increasingly active in the Indian Ocean, China is becoming the quintessential Indo-Pacific power. It thus cannot credibly criticize others for redefining their economic, strategic, and diplomatic links across this larger regional canvas.